and tried to kpai me to hide the truth. I never imagined that the man I called my husband, the man I trusted with my life, my business, my future, would one day become the person I would run for my dear life. I am a businesswoman, and for years I had worked hard and built my business from nothing. I was living in a rented apartment, but I had a dream. I wanted to build my own factory and expand my business so that I could create something that would belong to me and my children. One day I sat down with my husband. I told him about my plans. I want to buy land and build my own factory. I told him I don't want to remain in a rented place forever. He supported the idea, and together we started looking for a land. But every property we found in a very good location was very expensive. I knew my business well enough to understand that if I spent all my money on land, I would damage the money I needed to keep the business running. So I made a decision. Let me wait for 1 year. I told my husband, I will save more money, then I can buy a land in a proper place without affecting my business. I thought I was making a wise decision. I never knew that my husband had already started making a completely different plan. One day, he came back home excited. Babe, I have found a very good property, he said. The owner is willing to sell it at the price you can afford. This is the property you have been waiting for. You will not miss this one. I was shocked. Are you sure the land is genuine? I asked. Yes, he replied confidently. I have made all the inquiries. I have found the real owner. He is an elderly man and everything is legit. Because he was my husband, I trusted him somehow. The following Saturday, we went to see the property. Some men met us there. My husband introduced them as the people handling the transaction, that is the agents. After talking for a while, they took me to an elderly man they claim was the real owner of the land. We discussed the property. Everything looked convincing. Eventually, my husband told me where to make the payment. I transferred the money on Monday of its 28M. The entire plan for my factory was sitting in that transaction. But after I paid, something strange happened. No document was given to me. I waited. Days passed, then weeks. After about 3 weeks, I confronted my husband. Please ask these people to give me the document. This isn't how land transactions work. Where are the receipts? I did this thing because I trusted you. Where are the agreements? Where are the necessary papers? Instead of taking my concerns seriously, he kept avoiding me and the discussion. Then one day he came home with another story. The people said they are no longer selling that particular place at the price we agreed. He told me, but they have another property they can show us. I became uncomfortable, but I agreed to see it. If it is in a good location, I would consider it, I said. The following day, we entered the car. As we drove further and further away from town, I became increasingly uncomfortable. The road became worse. Building disappeared. The area became isolated. Finally, I looked around and realized we were almost in the bush. I turned to my husband. Where exactly are we going? He casually replied, this is the place. I looked around in disbelief. My husband, my business is supposed to be in the heart of town. Who is going to find my factory here? He said it doesn't matter. It's a factory. You don't need the place to be in town. But something inside me changed. I began to feel that something was terribly wrong. I have always been a person who finds it difficult to trust people completely. When money is involved, I am even more careful. That day, my instinct started screaming at me. Something is wrong. I became tense. My mind was racing. I secretly brought out my phone and opened my brother's contact. I didn't call him yet, but kept his contact on my screen. Then something happened that probably saved my life. My stomach became uncomfortable and I felt like using the toilet. I farted inside the car. My husband looked at me. What is happening? I quickly said, I want to poo. I don't want to disgrace myself inside this car. He stopped the car. The moment the vehicle stopped, I jumped out. I started running. At first, he thought I was actually looking for somewhere to relieve myself. He realized I was running away from him. I was running for my life. He shouted and tried to follow me, but I had already put distance between us. I ran as fast as I could. My heart was beating violently. I called my brother, please help me. I am in the bush with my husband. I don't know where he's taking me. My brother immediately said, calm down, repeat what you said again. I repeated myself. I didn't know that he was recording my voice so he could have evidence of what I was saying. He rushed to the police station and began making arrangements for the police to come to the area. Eventually, I reached a major road and called him again. I have escaped. I am already on the express. He told me to go directly to the police station. I got there and made my statement. That was when the investigation began. The police arrested 3 of the 5 men who had been involved in the original land transaction. And then the truth started coming out. The elderly man they had introduced to me as the landowner, he wasn't the owner. The place where we met him wasn't even his house. According to the investigation, the men had brought him to a hotel and presented him to me as the owner of the land. Everything had been staged. The land deal was a fraud, but the biggest shock was yet to come. The police began searching for my husband. For 3 days, we looked for him. Finally, found him hiding in a hotel outside the town. He was arrested. During the investigation, the men began confessing, and what I heard nearly destroyed me. My own husband had allegedly planned to take me into the isolated area and kpai me so that he could cover up the theft of my money. My husband wanted me kpai because of 28M. According to the confession, he had taken 20 million from the money and shared the remaining 8 million among other men involved. Suddenly, everything began making sense. After the land transaction, my husband's lifestyle had changed drastically. He bought a new car. He changed his wardrobe. He started spending money carelessly. I had asked him several times where the money came from. Instead of answering me, he became angry. So, you think I don't have money? He would say, because you have money, you think you are the only one who can have money. Do you want me to start giving you an account of everything I do? I never imagined that the money he was spending was connected to 28M. I had trusted him to help me invest. Today, the people involved are already in prison awaiting trial. They have been appearing in court and returning to prison while the case continues. And me, I have washed off my hands anything called marriage. People say marriage is for better, for worse, but there are some situations where staying alive must come before staying married. I love my husband. I trusted him. I built a home with him. I gave him children. But the day I discovered that the man sleeping beside me could plan my own kpai and hide his crime, something inside me died that day. I have 2 children with him, and they are the reason I remain strong. I don't know what the future holds, but one thing I know for sure is this: I would rather raise my children alone than remain married to a man who values 28M more than my life. I survived because gave me a warning and a second chance at exact moment I needed it. That day, what my husband taught me was an inconvenience. The fact that I suddenly needed to use the toilet became the reason I escaped. Sometimes the smallest interruption can become the biggest miracle. And when I looked at my children today, I remind myself, money can be replaced. Properties can be replaced, a business can be rebuilt, but a human life cannot be replaced. I lost 28M, but I did not lose my life. And for that, I will forever be grateful to God.